When Jimmy Kimmel asked Trump about Barron's DNA, the room went silent. Then chaos erupted. When Jimmy Kimmel invited President Donald Trump to his show, it raised eyebrows. The combination of Kimmel's sharp wit and Trump's unpredictable persona promised an unforgettable interview. As the show began, the atmosphere in the studio was electric, with anticipation buzzing through the crowd. Kimmel, known for his humor, walked a fine line as he prepared to interview the president. Trump entered with his usual confidence, his presence commanding the room. The tension was palpable, and everyone knew this wouldn't be a typical late-night conversation. Kimmel, calm but aware of the stakes, was ready to ask questions that could spark something bigger than comedy.
But do you think there's any truth to the argument that when you do something like this, when you say something like this, it helps recruiting, it helps ISIS because it makes people angry?
The interview started slowly, with Kimmel setting the tone. "Mr. President, I only invited you here to bring truth to people," he said. Trump's response was controlled but tense, giving no indication of the storm that was about to hit.
Well, the word is temporarily, and I have many, many friends, and they're great people, and they actually, some of them, not all of them, I will tell you, some of them aren't so thrilled with what I said, but many of them called me and they said, you know, Donald, you're right, we have a problem. I mean, look, there is a problem.
And then Kimmel dropped the bombshell. "So, when are you conducting Barron's DNA test?" The question, referencing the speculation surrounding Trump's son, Barron.
A very tall son named Barron. Has anyone ever heard of him?
Stunned the room. Trump's reaction was immediate, a brief flicker of surprise, followed by a tightened jaw. Kimmel wasn't done. "There are documents," he continued, "claiming there are inappropriate links between you, Ivanka, and Barron. Some even suggest Barron might not be your son, but Ivanka's." The room fell silent. The audience, unsure how to react, held their breath as Trump's face flushed with anger. The personal nature of the question hit hard, and for a moment, Trump seemed genuinely rattled. Trump quickly regained composure, responding sharply.
Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person?
"So you work for them now?" His anger was visible, and he snapped, "You think you can insult my family on live television?" The energy in the room shifted. This wasn't a lighthearted exchange anymore. Trump defended his family fiercely, speaking about hospital records and birth certificates, insisting that Barron's mother was Melania, not Ivanka. Kimmel, remaining calm, responded, "This isn't personal. It's about seeking the truth." But Trump wasn't having it. "You think this is funny?"
It should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working, and the way you treat other people are horrible. You shouldn't treat people that way.
He yelled, his anger rising. "I have hospital records. Barron's birth certificate says Melania is his mother." The force of his words echoed through the studio, and the audience shifted uneasily, unsure how to react. Kimmel, composed as ever, didn't escalate the situation. Instead, he calmly presented his next point. "I went through your records. It's pretty clear you paid a hospital worker to fake those files." The statement hit like a lightning bolt, and Trump's face turned from red to pale in an instant. His reaction was swift. "Fake. This whole show is fake," he shouted, clearly enraged. "You're done, Jimmy."
Well, when you report fake news, when you report fake news a lot, you are the enemy of the people.
"I'll make sure you never get another guest again." The room was frozen in disbelief. Trump's words were more than just a response. They were a threat. He was no longer playing the role of the cool, confident president. Instead, he was a man whose anger was unchecked, confronting Kimmel with a personal fury. Kimmel remained unfazed, allowing Trump's emotional outbursts to play out. Jimmy's calm demeanor contrasted sharply with Trump's intensity. There was no mocking or sarcasm in Kimmel's tone. He simply presented his accusations and allowed the moment to unfold. It was clear, this wasn't about politics anymore. This was about family, trust, and personal dignity, all laid bare for the world to see. Trump's frustration was palpable. He paced, gesturing wildly, his voice rising with every claim. Yet, through it all, Kimmel stayed focused, knowing that the power of the moment lay not in escalating the conflict, but in maintaining control of the conversation. Then, in a sudden and dramatic move, Trump stood up, yanked off his microphone, and stormed out of the studio. "I'm not doing this anymore," he yelled, his voice cutting through the tension like a knife. The audience, stunned, sat frozen. Some clapped, others remained silent, unsure how to process what had just happened. Kimmel, ever the professional, sat quietly as Trump exited. He looked directly into the camera, and with a simple statement concluded the interview. "Well, I guess we got our answer." The weight of his words contrasted with the chaos that had just unfolded. The walkout wasn't just dramatic, it was a statement of its own. Trump had left the stage, not just as a president, but as a man pushed to his limit, unwilling to take the scrutiny any longer. By the time the cameras stopped rolling, the stage had been set for a conversation that would go down in history, leaving everyone to wonder how far a question could push someone in the highest office of the land.